So much of things that we need to see about. Surely I do have to spell them out. Cause you know as well as I do, the only way is put in more effort and less play. Because now, more than ever, we must show discipline, tolerance, and production to build a strong and better nation. I say that is the main foundation. So come let us go hand in hand, because this is our land. Come my brother, come my sister, and let us build a nation together.
Come, my brother, come, my sister, and let us build a nation together. This song is powerful because it is saying to you, it is saying to me, it is saying to we, the people, we must put our hands, our hearts, our efforts, everything in to make this place we call home better. And not just better for you and I, better for the next generation and the next generation. We are nation builders. That is what we are called upon to do, to make it better. The roads that we travel on, they were built by people before us. Some of the schools, some of the churches, some of the buildings, even the houses that you are in, for some people, you came and you met it there. So they built it and you're occupying it. Or they constructed something and you're benefiting from it. That is what is required of us to make it better for the next generation and the next generation. But we are not naive. We know that while we call on our brothers and sisters, while we call on everyone to come together and build, there are those among us who will seek to undermine. There are those among us who will seek to tear down or sabotage or do something that would cause the project not to complete in time. In other words, you mix in concrete and they would not they would not do the right mix, right? So when the person who has to inspect comes around and start inspecting, then they say, no, you have to demolish that. You have to break it down because you did not use enough cement or enough sand or enough gravel or enough steel. Or, in other words, they would sabotage, they would undermine, right? Even in the foundation, with the columns and so on, they would not put enough of something, and then you have a problem. Or they would not go according to the plan. So you would find that from time to time, but we cannot allow that to keep us back from completing the project, from achieving that goal, from achieving those objectives, right? Or the mission or the vision. The vision is more long-term, but I am simply saying it is so important that we understand there are people on the project who will seek to slow it down, who would seek to undermine. You know, you go on a particular project and you can finish in a week, but there would be 2 or 3 people who believe that they're bright, and they would say, well, boy, I believe we have 2 weeks work here and not 1. So let's slow it down. let's drag it a bit. So you're causing the builder to drag the work, and the owner of the property or the project or whatever, that person has to pay more. And then in the medium to long term, the person would say, but we agreed for 1 week. So if they have to recommend that builder to another project, that builder would be compromised. That builder would have a problem. You see? So sometimes you believe that you're gaining in the short term, okay? But in the medium to long term, you will be severely impacted. You'll be adversely impacted. So sometimes you have to go with a genuine heart, a sincere heart on the project to complete it. So I thought I should share that as we begin the conversation this morning. We are calling all our people to be nation builders, but to be genuine on the project site. All right? I want to start off in a real way. In other words, the meat of the conversation this morning. The NNP is trying their utmost to put a damper on our 50th independence celebration. Let me tell you what they're doing. They are trying to create fear, panic in our people. So they're out there on radio saying to you, COVID-19 is wrong and leprosy is wrong. In other words, they're trying to create fear in the people. So they know thousands of people are coming for our 50th celebrations of independence. So they know that. They are aware of that. In fact, I told you on Friday, the ruler of that party wanted to be the prime minister today, during this time, for the 50th independence celebration. He wanted to be the prime minister. The people said no. But his surrogates and pundits, and they're not acting in isolation. Do not believe they're just waking up in the morning, picking up the phone and calling the Plead Your Cause program, like Devon Romain, for example, Panames, aka Panames, called this morning. But if you listen to their programs and what they're pushing, you would gauge where that is coming from. So it's not happening in isolation. What they want to do, in my belief, is to instill fear in our people. But our people are resilient. Our people know that we have to learn to live with COVID-19. And look, we know what COVID-19 did to a lot of people. And those who died because of COVID-19 or during that period, I extend my deepest condolences to you. It's not easy. There are still people who have not recovered from that loss. It's tough, right? And not just economically. Yes, we know you lost money, you lost, a lot with your business and other things like that. But losing a life, losing a family member, losing a friend, it's tough, it's hard. And no words can bring back that loved one or bring comfort or solace. No words could do that. It's really tough. And I know. I sympathize with you. But I am saying, I think we have come to that place where we understand we have to live with that. It would happen. COVID-19, don't believe that it would just go away like that. Don't believe that. And you would not stay in your house and not go out and do your normal stuff, right? The NNP wants our people to hide, to stay in their house, or don't travel, or don't this, or do that. Don't do that. That is what they want. So the NNP strategy, and they have started that, they're seeking, in my belief, to undermine the 50th independence celebration. They want people to be afraid. They don't want you to come. They don't want you to participate. They don't want there to be any event or activities. They don't want that. They want to undermine it. That's what they're doing. And they're doing so intentionally. They're not doing this thing by guessing. Do not believe that they're doing it by guess. They're seeking to undermine the celebrations because a certain man is not the prime minister. He wanted to be the prime minister. At this point in time, he's upset, he's angry, he's bitter. And as a result, his surrogates, his pundits, they're out there trying to instill fear in our people, seeking to cause our people to panic. And that is why this morning, this surrogate, a pundit of the NNP, said when he called a particular program, he said he's calling on the Honorable Philip Telesford to come out and speak. Why should the Honorable Philip Telesford, Minister of Health, come out and speak on what? Right? We have heard from Kevin Frederick, the senior communication officer in that ministry, doing his normal thing, right? Raising awareness, providing information to the public. That's kind of normal. But there is no need to panic or cause our people to panic about anything here. But that is how the NNP operates. Don't fool yourself. The New Nasty Party, and that is what the acronym stands for here in what I am speaking to you about, the New Nasty Party. They're seeking to spread fear and cause our people to panic because they don't want this thing to be successful. They attack the amount of money allocated for the celebrations, an entire year of celebrations. They attack the fact that, things are happening the way it's happening. They couldn't attack the launch because it was well done. They couldn't attack the song because people are motivated by the song and other things. In fact, this morning, the members of parliament for all the different constituencies, and we hope that those on the NNP side could visit the schools. We hope that they can do that because they have been very reluctant to join in and be a part of the 50th celebration of independence, right? So this morning, ministers of government and members of parliament, they will visit secondary schools across Grenada, Carriacou, right? And they would distribute commemorative 50th independence pins, right? Under the theme 50, it's a big deal. So they will be distributing that to the children. So expect your child or children to come home with that pin. Just as you have the Grenadian flag pin or other countries having that, we will have that, or your children would have that on their uniform, right? So that would be pinned onto their uniform from today, right? And that is great. That's wonderful. You want them to be involved in the celebrations. So I want to commend the government. I want to commend the committee, the Independence Celebrations Committee. I want to commend them. I want to applaud them for such an initiative. You know about the $50 note. That too will be rolled out. So I really want to applaud them, Mrs. Gail Purcell and the team at the Secretariat and the entire committee, right? I want to applaud them for that. So again, saying this morning that would happen. But it is important that you understand what the NNP is trying to do. So you can brush it aside, or you can advise others to ignore what they're trying to do. They're trying to instill fear in our people. But we, the people, we are resilient. We had Ivan, we had Emily, we had chikungunya, we had moko disease, we had what you call that again? Um, this white thing. You call that thing again? Uh, Forget the name. That slipped me now. Um, so we had droughts, we had a lot of things that we went through, and we bounced back, right? Uh, so I am saying to our people, we had Janet, right? So Janet, we had Hurricane Ivan, we had Hurricane Emily, Millibug, right? Millibug. We had Millibug, we had Moko disease, we had chikungunya, we had just you know, COVID. Uh, all Grenadian people are resilient. We cannot hide in a room and not go about our business. You know, that is what the NNP wants. The NNP wants our people to remain indoors and be scared and be afraid and don't do this and don't do that. Don't socialize, don't mix, don't mingle. That is what they're trying to do, which is dangerous. Very, very much so. Yes, I did, Carol, thank you very much there. I did mention Hurricane Janet. Thank you very much. Somebody saying Lucas. No, the Millibug, right? So I am saying to the NNP, join the team, join the people. Let's do this together. Why are you so malicious, right? This agasm seaweed, and we're still resilient. We're still able to ply our trade and do our stuff, and fishermen are still, or the fishing community, right? Fishing folks, because you have women, you have men, they're involved in that. They're still doing their do. Come on. In some areas, you have the stench, but we're still continuing to do what we were doing and survive. We're resilient as a people. So why should you be out there trying to instill fear in our people? It's dangerous, but that is how they operate. They're that dangerous and intentionally wicked. They're mendacious, and they're doing these things intentionally to instill fear in our people. In fact, the individual went on to say, well, there is leprosy in the region. Okay, all right, but here it is. One case of leprosy was discovered in Barbados. One case, right? And that individual is in isolation. It's an isolated case. The situation is under control. The individual is, that's in Barbados, right? And then there is an inquiry in St. Lucia. You have 11 new leprosy cases there, signaling, 120% increase from 2020 to 2023. St. Lucia, right? So we are not saying it's not in the region. We're not saying that. But what we are simply saying is it's an isolated case in Barbados, in St. Lucia. They're monitoring certain things there. So I am simply saying, why should one, go there in this panic mode? We know that the government has to do what it's supposed to do to prevent that from coming here, but once it's in the region, you understand the point. So I went and I Googled, and I see here one case of leprosy confirmed in Barbados. Health officials in Barbados have reassured the public, and that was on January the 14th, reassured the public not to panic following the confirmation of a leprosy case on island. The Deputy Chief Medical Officer, Dr. Anthony Phillips, in an update with Barbados Today, informed that the affected individual is currently undergoing treatment with just a month or two left in the regimen. Dr. Phillips highlighted that this is an isolated case and the situation is under control. This disclosure about the ongoing treatment emerged in response to a query from Barbados Today seeking clarification on the country's leprosy status. This inquiry was prompted by St. Lucia reporting 11 new leprosy cases, signaling a 120% increase from 2020 to 2023. In response to these developments, health authorities in Barbados have advised has devised a national plan aimed at eliminating leprosy from the island. It's noteworthy that leprosy, once a significant concern in Barbados a century ago, necessitated or necessitated, sorry, necessitated the isolation of sufferers in a dedicated uh, leper colony. Right? So I'm just reading from there, and it explains what leprosy is in that news piece. So St. Lucia is affected more by that. All right, based on that um, uh, news piece. Barbados, one case in Barbados under control. And we know that the government here will do what they're supposed to do to keep that under control, under wraps, right? And certainly they'll be monitoring people from St. Lucia and from Barbados. So again, it is in the region. We understand that. We know that the government will put some kind of contingency plan in place. They will explain to the general public. But for an NNP pundit to go there and just throw this thing out there on a radio program, creating panic, creating fear in our people, it is dangerous to say the least. Yes, we know we have to take precautionary measures. COVID-19, that is something that we have to live with, but we have to take precautionary measures. Leprosy, we know it is within the region. We have to take precautionary measures. Of course, the ministry has to, put their plans and whatever in place, particularly for folks who are coming from St. Lucia, coming from Barbados. And, once it's in the region, it may spread, right? But the host of the program this morning, as a Plead Your Cause program, these people are just allowed, in my belief, to just say whatever they want on that program. In fact, there's a particular lady, Anne-Marie Aban, she called that program this morning, and she used words to the effect, the political leader of the National Democratic Congress, right, had this press conference and that. What's to that effect? The prime minister she's referring to, the government having a press conference. It is the prime minister of Grenada, the most honorable Deacon Mitchell, not the political leader of the NDC. And the host is not smart or bright enough to correct her. And she knows what she's doing. She knows what she's doing. She's intentionally doing these things. Nasty to the core, in my belief. It is the prime minister of the state of Grenada. That is what it is. Not the political leader of the NDC or the National Democratic Congress. You don't address him that way, because it's not a party thing. You see, she believes that she's bright, but she's not bright. She's that dumb. So she would call that program, and she does these things regularly. But the host of that program will not even correct her. And maybe he doesn't have the knowledge to do so, or the competence to do so. Maybe. But come on. A press conference held by the government of Grenada. So after the oath or the swearing in at the Governor General's residence, there was a press conference the next day that the media generally boycotted. Nothing wrong with that. The Grenadian people were able to view it and followed it. Almost 16, 17, 18, 19,000, 20,000 people or so viewed that thing. Nothing wrong with that. But I'm saying to you, this woman, Anne-Marie Aban from Sans Souci, right? She called into that program, the Plead Your Cause program this morning. And she used words to the effect, the political leader of the National Democratic Congress had this press conference and blah, blah, blah. What's to that effect? But it was a press conference held by the government of Grenada. So it was the prime minister, our beloved prime minister, the most honorable Deacon Mitchell. But she's so nasty to the core, in my belief. She does these things And the host, I don't know. I just don't know. Is it that he's not competent enough, or he's just allowing them to do these things? But that's how they do it every morning. She would call tomorrow again, and the next day, and every day, talking rubbish many a times. But they're not doing these things by guess. Don't fool yourself. Don't fool yourself. They are not doing these things by guess. They know what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing and what they're seeking to accomplish. So I am saying to my people, I'm saying to my brothers and sisters out there, Grenada belongs to all of us. This is our country. This is our home. So why then should anyone try to disrupt, try to undermine? Why? Why should you do that? What are you trying to achieve? And I ask this question because there are people who are seeking to undermine the progress, the gains. Why? What do you get out of this? Yes, we know you want to come back into power. Yes, we know you miss that. You miss that opportunity. We know all of that. But why should you go the extra mile to seek to undermine all that's happening in our country? It just doesn't add up to me. I'm saying to our people, you could want power, but that's not how you do it. Because Grenadians are smarter. Grenadians are observing what's going down. Grenadians are taking a deeper look, right? You no longer could say these things and get away with it. People are scrutinizing you. People want to know more, you see? So by the time this individual said what he, stated or said on that program earlier this morning, I went and I just Googled it about leprosy, about COVID-19. Easy. So I am saying, do not seek to cause panic in our people and fear. But that's the strategy of the NNP, because the ruler of the new nasty party wanted to be in power around this time. He didn't get the chance to do so. His surrogates and pundits, they're out there trying to instill fear in our people. But our people are not stupid, right? Also, folks, the NNP is seeking to undermine the free hot meal program. They are seeking to undermine that program. You believe the NNP don't know that all schools normally would not get supplies, all the supplies, one time at the beginning of the school year or term? The school just reopened. School just reopened. So they're doing distributions of supplies and so on, because remember, there are different suppliers for different schools for that whole school feeding program and that whole free hot meal program. So some schools will get it kind of early, some might get it a little late. But that's the normal thing. All the schools don't get the stuff one time, right? And they know that. The NNP, they know that. Don't fool yourself now under the NNP, same thing. But what they're trying to do is to undermine the program as though, well, this is the first time it happening, and the NDC is this, and the government is this, and they know what they're doing. Because they're upset that the government decided to roll out the free hot meal program, where parents do not have to find the money to give their children so that they can get some lunch or some hot meal during school hours. The NNP angry, and I told you that. So their strategy is to go out there and make people believe that, there's some shortage, or the government not, supplying, or the suppliers not. And that's not the case. That's not the case. Historically, all schools will not get the supplies one time, the same day, and that kind of stuff. Some of the supplies, it takes some time. They might get some stuff, this time, some the next time. That's how it's done, right? And that is why schools are encouraged to have 4-H clubs, backyard gardening, so you can, mix up the thing. That is why the community must be involved in assisting, because there are farmers or people with fruits spoiling. I personally know that. They have fruits spoiling, but they would not one day say to themselves, let me pick it and bring it to the school so that they can make juice for the kids, fresh juice for the kids. Right? And that is what is required, There are people within the vicinity of the school, not even very far, within close range of those schools, with citrus spoiling, fruits spoiling, and they would not one day pick that stuff up, pick it from the trees, right? And bring it to the school and say, I bring it as a gift, because they can pulp it, they can squeeze it, they can store it. It can last for months. I remember I had a shop, right? And what I used to do, because swivel orange, or as we would say, sweet gospo, that used to fall and spoil. So I would engage the farmers because it's spoiling. I would buy cheaply, right? And I would make juice with it. Those white bucket? Yeah, I think it's 5 gallon. I would make juice with that, maybe 2 or 3 buckets of that on a daily basis. And I would make sandwich, because that's me. I'm a guy who, hands-on, I would do stuff to survive. At the time, I had a good shop and selling stuff. And I would sell juice. Sometimes I would credit the kids 50 cents, $1, whatever it used. I think it used to be 50 cents or $1, something like that. Dollar juice, dollar sandwich. The salami, cut that with some lettuce and some cucumber, a little tomato if they want that in it. No, for now, quick thing. A little mayo, a little, ketchup, whatever they want. Just with bread. Bread is cheap. Well, at the time, I'm talking about years ago, right? And I would put that in there, because this money, you might underestimate it. You might underestimate that time. At that time, you get 12 bread for maybe $2 or something like that, right? Or 6 bread for $2, something around there. 6, I think it used to come in 6, right? So you underestimate that little money, $1. When I sell that at the end of the month, I would realize in profit because I would separate expense from profit. Just giving you a little real story here to show you what is going down. And I would make $5,000 or $4,000 something in profit. Forget about the expense, because I would know what is profit from expense, right? I'm telling you, at the end of the month. So yes, I was selling other things, corned beef, rice, sugar, flour, all kind of thing. But in just juice and the little sandwich for the children when they're going up and when they finish school, or or anybody in the area, I would make that kind of profit. So I'm telling you, and the juice would taste nice. Put a little essence in it, you make it and put a little essence for flavor and vibes. Right? The children, they love that. But I'm saying there are people within the same vicinity of the school with citrus spoiling. Right now, yam coming in, for example, yam. You telling me you can bring a bag of yam in the school for they to put it in the soup, white yam? When they make the little pumpkin, you have pumpkin spoiling. You telling me you can't bring 2 or 3 pumpkin in the school within that area? You understand the point? Your watermelon. Sometimes you have to start digging deeper. If you say you love the children, if you say you love the country, right? Panames. If you'll want to, NNP, the new nasty party, you'll want to, attack the free hot meal program. You want to attack the government, right? Okay, well, do something now. Do something. Demonstrate your patriotism. All you go open all your bad old mouth. You know, wanting to use a next word, you know. Or you're quick to condemn, to criticize, to attack. You know, where's the solution? Okay, right? We are Grenadians. We have children in schools, or we had the children going in those different schools. We are part of the community where the school is located. All right? Why not take the initiative? You have right now fig in season. And I tell you, fig is seasonal. Eh? Don't fool yourself. Fig, banana, seasonal. When you're getting fig, lap and cut. Left, right, and center. Right? You could cut 2 or 3 bunches and bring it to the school. They will use it in the soup. Or they might be making a little saltfish and provision today. Bring it there. So instead of going on the damn radio, on the pre-cause program and bump your dirty mouth, right? And attack the program and so on. Take some time and mobilize, organize in your community and bring 3 or 4 bunches of banana. What do we say? Fig. Right? Blogger. You're wrong the place. Yam, white yam. It was nice in pea soup and pumpkin soup and kalaloo soup. Right? Bring it in the schools. Instead you're going on radio and bump your dirty mouth. I am simply saying we must play a part in our community. Not just talk, or you have a radio and there's a proliferation of FM stations, so you pick up your phone and you're going and bump your dirty mouth because you're part of a political party that wants to undermine everything. Undermine the hot meal program. You want to undermine the 50th independence celebration. All you too damn bad-minded and dirty with all yourself. Take some time. And it's for everybody. Take some time. You have 2 schools in your community or 3 schools in some instances, right? Sometimes you have 3 or 4 schools in the area. You have things spoiling in your backyard, spoiling in your garden, right? Because when he coming, plentiful. Grenada the soil is fertile. So 1, the schools, you need to have backyard gardening. I mean, I remember you had 4-H, you had, classes, having a bed or 2 in like you have 5, let's say you have 10 classes or 12 or whatever, and you dedicate a little area per class. So they might plant a little cabbage, plant carrots, pumpkin, okra, corn, that's what it used to be. Tomatoes, that kind of thing. So you substitute, you have a little, you could have the thing there. And when they harvest, they either sell if they have too much, or they supply the kitchen with it. That's what used to happen. And that is what needs to happen now. Go back to that. Dedicate that. Have an officer or 2 responsible for that. Go into the schools, bring in the seeds, bring in the seedlings, bring in the little fertilizer, or maybe have them some goats and sheep and, or maybe rabbits, so they can use the same manure to fertilize those things. That is what you want to see happening in schools, right? Well, a little fall run, and you could use the feces, you could use the, as manure. So you go back right instead of chemical and so, you could, come on, we could do it. We could do that. So the schools need to focus on that. And then you have the community. You need to play a role. And there must be some togetherness, some working together, some, PTA, some association, some you scout through the community and you see who have this and who have that, and and you work with them, and even if you have to get it at a reduced cost, or they could give to your schools, give back to your schools, right? School in the community, the kids are there, give back, support them, help them. This could be done. It's spoiling in your backyard. Come on. How do you work with them? How do you team up? That's important. So instead of the NNP and the surrogates and the goons and zygotes and lumpengs and sycophants calling a radio program because you want to condemn government so much, you're so bad-minded and nasty with yourself. Huh? That's all you all are fit for. Good for nothing, piece of. You know? Take some time and work within your community. Help build your community and your school. Help. Come on. The government announced the free hot meal program, right? That's great. That's a good thing. That's good. There are parents who can't afford to pay every morning, give their child $3 or whatever. Come on. It's a good opportunity. Let's work together with our community. There are people who think when cashew in seasonal gum, he paint in the ground. Lemon, he buy lots of lemon. In fact, I mean, it's private property next door by me, for example. I can't go over the fence and so on, but he breaking the tree, bending over lemon and lime and oranges and grapefruit and mandarin and tangerine and Grenada is blessed, you know. This thing is fertile place, you know. I'm telling you, it's fertile, it's blessed. We are blessed in this place. I'm telling you, but folks, we have to understand. You don't expect government to get everything. What they're talking about is imported stuff they're talking about, you know, that the government should provide for all schools. Bring flour to make them children belly big. Bring flour so they go eat dumpling and you understand? Bring all them artificial thing, Maggi and chicken noodle and all kind of rubbish. Who cook with that anymore? You still cooking with that? Right? Maggi soup and chicken noodle, what you call it? And spaghetti and macaroni and all. That's what they're talking about, you know. Whole pile of salt and sugar and bring all in the schools. That's what they want you to do. That is what they're coming on the government for, you know. So the supplies and bring that in some instances and bring a whole pile of oil and da. That's what they want. So the NNP, instead of finding solutions, instead of teaming up, instead of working with the schools and working with the churches and working with the community, and they jump on a phone, call Plead Your Cause program. The host of that program is as, you know, terrible. It's just, look, Grenadians, stop that damn stupidness. Right? Stop it. All you NNP, goons, surrogates, zygotes, sycophants, lumpengs in society, stop all your damn stupidness. We used to work together as communities, right? Helping schools and helping the community and working together. Things are spoiling next door, spoiling. How can you work? How can you speak to the neighbor? Speak to your friend. Say this week, let's do a kind gesture. Huh? You know, this morning, that was not what I wanted to speak about. Huh? I wanted to encourage the folks in the diaspora who are coming back home to register to vote. When you come back home for independence celebration, register to vote. Right? Register, please. Register. I know a number of you are doing it, and you're coming home from this week. And in fact, that would be the real team in going forward. This week and next week. Right? And the other week. And the other week. As we move towards independence, a lot of people are coming in this week and the next week. So again, I want to encourage you. I want to, you know, register. Register. You come home, register to vote. That was not really, you know, that's what I wanted to talk about more this morning. But those NNP and them, they're so nasty and bad-minded. You know, you all have to be becoming a stench. Work with the schools now. Team up with the schools. That thing's spoiling in the communities. And look, you don't even need sugar. The mandarin, sweet. I'm telling you, the orange is sweet. You could actually just squeeze it and give children. You bring a bag, I'm telling you, a glass of that is enough for the day, and they're drinking water. Yeah, or you could even give them to suck it just so. Where you could squeeze it in a glass for them. Yeah, that could work for them. And then there are people with callaloo in their backyard. I'm not talking about callaloo where your pee going on in the drain and all your nastiness going on in the drain, you know. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about callaloo that you plant for the purpose of callaloo soup. There are some people in the drain, all the nasty old thing going on in the drain, and they want to come and give you food rubbish, right? And then you have pumpkin soup. Pumpkin soup. You have coconut, actual coconut. You break the coconut, you take it out of the shell, you chip it up or you blend it or you grate it, up to you. But in school, you will blend it, right? And you make coconut soup, you make pumpkin soup with that. Your pumpkin, you have white yam, right? Come on. You need a little meat, and in some cases you don't even need meat. But put some meat in it. Come on, man. We could work together and build community and help our schools and so on. You know, stupidness every time. Only just picking up a phone and call. And that's why I don't open up the line here too much, you know. I would just talk. You open the line, one set of people calling every morning on that PG Cause program, the dumbest program in Grenada, the stupidest program in Grenada. Every morning, they pick up a damn phone and they rah. Nonsense. Foolishness. You gotta stop this nonsense now. This is our community. That's where you live. Not because you support NNP and you support NNP, you have to call every morning and bash government and run mouth and and create panic and fear and stupidness. Stop that all your damn nonsense. Stop it. This country belongs to us. The schools are in our communities, and our children go to those schools, right? Children go to those schools, or if they don't go, maybe they finish school, but that is the upbringing. That is where they got the education from and so on. Come on, support the schools. You got things spoiling your backyard. Come on, let's see more of that now. When you're picking up the phone as an NNP supporter and you're running your dirty mouth, your bad mouth. What's wrong with all you? Stop it. Stop all your damn nonsense. Right? Let me just promote that little thing for my good friend Francis Person, my good parties out there in New York. Just promote that for them.
3 islands united as one.
A spectacular evening awaits you as the Grenada Independence Anniversary Committee of New York, under the auspices of the Consulate General of Grenada and guest of honor, Prime Minister the Honorable Dickon Mitchell, invite every Grenadian to join in celebrating Grenada's 50th anniversary of independence with our Golden Jubilee Gala. Enjoy the evening of Saturday, January 27th with exquisite cuisine, live entertainment, all in the vibrant and sophisticated atmosphere of the Anthems at 9643 Springfield Boulevard in Queens. Don't miss this opportunity to honor Grenada's milestone achievement. Limited seats are still available for a donation of $225. Reserve your seat now by calling the Grenada Consulate at 212-599-0301, Nick Cox at 347-528-3038, or Frances Purcell at 917-282-9405. Celebrate Grenada's 50th anniversary of independence with the Golden Jubilee Gala. Reserve your tickets now and be a part of history.
Right, so please support that gala. So I will feature that from time to time. And there's some other things that are happening, right? The celebrations committee, they sent me some stuff. I'll put it out there from time to time, promote it, because I want, all of us to join in and work together, right? To build this country. This is our home. This is our country. It's simple like that. It's not NNP, NDC. It's our community. It's our country. Stop trying to pull it down and tear it down and mash it up. You all need to stop all your damn stupidness and up your level and better yourself. So you're going to be better for our people, man. All right? So, folks, take good care and bye.